Indonesian writer-director Joko Anwar made waves last year when his 2017 supernatural horror Satan's Slaves hit American streaming service Shudder. The movie quickly became one of the most streamed foreign horror films on the platform. Satan's Slaves was already a big hit with an international audience after its festival runs, but it became a bigger hit back home in Indonesia when it topped the list of highest grossing horror films. The film is a remake of an 80s film of the same name, but this is not Anwar's first film. He has a very diverse background working as a journalist, film critic, and actor before heading into film as a writer and director. He has tackled comedy, action, and adventure, but now he's back with his new cursed film, Impetigore. And this film was 10 years in the making, rumored to be based on his very own messed up nightmares.
Kesalahan yang harus aku hapus.
The film follows a woman who is struggling to survive in the big city, until one night a violent accident provides her with the clues to seek out her past, and in hopes to obtain an inheritance from her parents, her journey begins. Her and her friend travel to a secluded village that she believes to be from, but the village holds many secrets and no mercy. Straight out the gate, the setup for this film is amazing. The main character and her best friend have such good chemistry, and their banter is so realistic. They get you just where they want you, really involved in the characters and their relationship before the horror storms in. It's quick, it's swift, it's smart, and it's creepy. But at a certain point, the feeling of the film changes as we get into the more elaborate part of the journey. You see, this film is based on a really complicated backstory, one that needs a lot of explaining and reveals. It's not hard to understand, but it does require a different type of audience, one that will be willing to accept anything offered to them and not pick apart anything or try to read into clues. There's no hints of what's to come, it's just a story that is explained to the audience along the way. You feel like a passenger in this film, it doesn't want you to put the pieces together. In fact, it goes out of its way to make sure it doesn't even leave breadcrumbs, and it just saves those big moments for flashback reveals, which feel kind of clunky. And this is where the film fell down for me. It went from being so quick and witty to really over-explaining itself to the audience. Because of the religious and spiritual nature of the village, the film also requires you to be open to a different kind of curse, one that many of us may not be used to. The film is original in this way, forcing us to check our beliefs at the door. This film is very similar to many other Eastern Asian horror films, where they completely skip the moment where there's a sense of disbelief between the main characters. They don't have to explain to each other what curses are and if they really believe them, if spirits or ghosts are real. It's part of their religion and it's part of their culture. It's actually something I really like about this kind of foreign film. It's so interesting and so different to many other Hollywood films, the change in the culture where ghosts, spirits, and curses are just believed. We skip the whole Western idea of explaining the origin and then getting others to believe it's happening to us. But I know why you guys are here. You want to know, does the gore deliver? And I'm here to tell you, yes it does. It is a brutal and very violent film. If you are squeamish, you may want to sit this one out because it did get very bloody very quickly. This is a lot to do with the reveals of the film and the actual payoff, so it is a big part of the film. There's a reason why gore is the second part of the title. I have to say, I really did love the gore in this film, but the sound design was one of my other favorite parts. It had some great original music and some haunting chants that build the tension, paired with the stirring sound of silence which lets you linger that little bit just too long in an unfamiliar place. It was spooky to say the least. There were parts of this film that I really admire and parts that stuck with me from the get-go, but other parts I felt were cheap and rushed. The setup was great, but as the film goes on, you feel like they have so many cool and interesting aspects, but they chose to focus on the details of the wrong ones. I felt like the second act also needed to be condensed, and by that I don't mean just made shorter. I felt like time needed to be spent on different details. It kept losing me and then pulling me back in, then losing me and pulling me back in. So it did keep me for the duration of the film, but there were parts where I was zoning out. The film is incredibly intriguing, and the chemistry between the two main characters really does suck you in, but does it keep you there the whole time? And the film does itself a disservice by dumbing down the audience and over-explaining everything to us in flashbacks instead of letting us pick up the clues along the way. I do think that this film is worth your time, but with a kick-ass start, I felt let down by everything that unraveled. Just remember with this one, the path is extremely windy and at times hard to believe, but that's the fun of it. Just go with the flow and don't overthink it, like I did in this review. That's why I'm here, right? I'm giving this film a 6 out of 10. I really wanted to give it a 7, but the flashbacks just ruined me. I'm giving it an originality score of 7 and a scare score of 7 because the gore, it's brutal. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you've seen this film. It does come out this week on Shudder, so it should be out today. So I hope you guys really enjoy it. A lot of you guys ask how I watch these Shudder releases. Obviously, Shudder is not in Australia. I'm very lucky that I've been sent this film ahead of time, so I was really blessed to be able to watch it, but obviously not paid or anything. This is my raw review. That's why I gave it a 6. But I hope you guys are having a great day. If you do find these reviews helpful, please give it a thumbs up or just subscribe. And I can be in your subscription box 2 times a week, giving you some recommendations of what to watch next. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.